Happy Monday. We are on our last final days of Women's International Month, or some people are calling it Women's History Month. And I'm excited to have a special guest today. Let me see if she's joining us. Hey, Myrna, Empower Financial Wellness. Myrna kicked off our live at the beginning of the month, and that was such a great conversation. Guys, go back to the beginning of when we started these. I think the first one was March 4th. Great conversation with Myrna, but we have an amazing special guest today. I'm waiting for her to jump on. Let me see. Welcome back, The Balance Shot. Hello, Myrna. Yeah, you see my crazy dog back there? He cannot keep still. I think he's just like so hyperactive. There she is. Okay, I see you. Yes. Excited to have this conversation. Let me see. Oh, accept. Sorry. Go live.
Hello. I think we had some connection issues there. How are you, Michelle?
I'm good. I'm so glad to see your face because sometimes Instagram doesn't show me the face. So I'm like, yes, Audrey, how are you?
I am wonderful. Is this enough lighting? You can see me?
We can see you.
Okay,
If you have more
perfect.
lighting, the better, but this is good. We can see you.
Okay, perfect.
So, okay. I tend to talk a lot. So, because I get excited about the things that our members offer, the things that you do.
Okay.
So, okay, I'm going to share really quick for those who don't know me on here. I'm Michelle Pritchard. I'm the founder of the Holistic Business Network, which is a network of holistic practitioners, services, and products. And we have membership that is around the country and also in Canada, so international. And our primary goal is to really help to expand the visibility of these businesses because we truly believe that the future of health is holistic and that holistic health and wellness needs to be the mainstream versus all these other things that have people going in cycles with their health and not getting answers. Getting to the root is what we need to be doing. And so our mission is to help just bring light to the amazing work that our members are doing. So we're going to get right into this with Audrey Sadler. Guys, hold on, because when I first spoke to Audrey and she was telling me all the things that he has done, I was just like, okay, I'm very excited for everyone else to hear about you. So, Audrey, welcome, Kayla. So I might be saying hello to people at times or waving. I'll wave to you guys when you jump on. So, Audrey, please tell us what you do, your background. Well, no, tell us I want you to start with your background, first of all.
Okay. So I am a family nurse practitioner, but I started off as a regular RN. I got recruited from Jamaica in the late 80s. Now I'm telling my age, to Manhattan. And I was there for a while, then came to Florida. And in '09, I got recruited as a matter of fact, I went to Barry University to do my nurse practitioner training. And in '09, I got recruited to Georgetown in Washington, D.C. as the specialty director for occupational health and workers' comp. I spent 3 years there, and then I got recruited to NYU in Manhattan. So I was back in Manhattan where I started, and I was there for 6 years as the associate director for occupational medicine and workers' comp. And then I got a great opportunity at Stanford University, and I went there for 3 years as the director for occupational medicine and workers' comp. And then I had my business plan written down since '09. And in 2019, I met this pastor, and there was a retreat we had for our church in San Jose. And she said, God is wondering what you're waiting on to start your business. He has so many people to bless through you. And I'm thinking, I've only been going to this church for a year. How does she even know anything about me? She doesn't go to the church. I didn't tell anybody. And so I made a vision board. I put it over my bed at Stanford. And in 2 years, I came to Florida. 2 years later, I was in Florida, made my first business event, got my business registered here, and so here I am. So my background is family. I'm board certified as a family nurse practitioner, but I'm also certified in regenerative medicine because, as Michelle says, the body can heal itself. So the aim is to help people to move away from the chemicals and the continuous use. And it's not to tell anybody to stop, but to get the inflammation out of their body so they can heal. And so I do things like hair restoration, O-shot for women going through menopause, or they're just having issues with intimacy with their partner. I do weight management, and it's not about dieting, it's making a lifestyle change. So as I usually say, if you have a nice car, you wouldn't put kerosene to fuel it, right? So if you have your nice body, why would you put garbage and tell your neuropeptide to feed, your brain is feeding the rest of your organs with stuff that doesn't even make sense, and then you get sick and you can't walk and you're having pain. So my goal is to help the patient to see that they can be better. They're sleeping well, they're taking their gut health, which is their second brain, as Michelle says, being a health coach. And so my aim is to help the patient to see through a different lens.
Did you guys just take all of that in? Like, I was so impressed when I first spoke with you, because when you started sharing like all the amazing positions you've had, that speaks a lot. Like, they truly saw your value, and this was what, in the 90s that you were working at these prestigious institutions.
Well, I just left my last position in 2001, and I was at NYU in 2012, and I was at Georgetown in 2009. So it's all in the
2000.
Yes.
Yeah, even more recent. So let me tell you, Audrey was telling me like some of the things that you do. You mentioned a few just now, like you said, the O-shot, which I've never even heard of that. So I know more people probably want to know more about that. The pain relief that you're able to help people with. And I want you to share how you do that. Like, so please share with us some of the modalities that you have and you're helping people with at your place, and even the hair restoration. The hair restoration is a big thing too.
Right. And so one of the things we do, I work with a company out of Oslo, Norway and Sweden, because we do believe if your cell membrane fluidity is of the correct value, then you are flushing a lot of toxins out of your body. And research shows our cells takes 120 days to rejuvenate. And so I work with them in testing for the omega, because that's very important. We need to have omega in order to run our brain. Our brain operates on 90% omega fatty acids. And also, if we are doing gut health, we want to make sure that our probiotics are correct. We're doing the right thing to restore our microbes. And so what I'm finding out, that patients who I am balancing their omega, so for every one omega-3 you have in the body, you're supposed to have 3 omega-6. Unfortunately, our diets have a lot of omega-6, which is just too much. And we're seeing a lot of inflammation like colon cancer. And this is what the research is showing out of France with World Health Organization. We didn't make this up.
Yeah.
They're seeing lots of inflammation, but their 4 main ones are colon cancer, obesity, endocrine disorders, so a lot of prediabetes, thyroid issues, and cardiovascular issues. And so with coming into See Me, that's one of the things that I offer, the omega test. And there's a link the patient can go to order it themselves. It comes from Sweden. But the non-pharmaceutical pain relief, I am using a device. It's called microcurrent therapy. So you might have heard about TENS. So the TENS unit blocks the pain. The Avasia is a Porsche to a TENS, right? So a TENS would be like a VW. And the microcurrent therapy was developed in Russia in 1852. And in the 1950s, a NASA scientist developed a similar device. What we're doing is measuring your nerves. So you're getting a massage on the nerves, not the muscles. And the nerves are supposed to measure between 20 and 30. Anything below 20 meaning you're not getting good supply. And also, if you've gotten a incision, say you had surgery or you had a scar because of a trauma, there's something called the colloidal crystal. That is how the nerves flow. So the colloidal crystal is interrupted each time we cut into the skin. And so we have to reestablish that flow so the patient can have good nerve flow to the area, hence good flow to the muscles, good flow to the organs. So it's great. I see a lot of patients for it's FDA clear for a number of conditions, including neuropathy, arthritis, a whole host of things. And so usually I clear the patient's entire spine, their paraspinal, their trigeminal, which is the 6 largest nerves in the body that controls 90% of your own healing and your own sense of well-being. And also being on the omega and being balanced is that they also test your mental strength. So that helps us to see how the patient is doing and how they're getting rid of the inflammation. And what I've been seeing, Michelle, I've been practicing as an NP since 99. This is the first time patients are coming back with bags of medicine. Their internist, their primary, has either reduced it to a third, removed it altogether, or they have just reduced the dose to maybe half, and the patients are doing well. Their hemoglobin A1C is coming down. So it is proof that once you get rid of the inflammation out of your body will heal.
That is so good. So let me ask you, Audrey, because I have someone who's asking a question.
Uh-huh.
Do you help patients with existing nerve damage?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, Myrna. So
Yes.
yes, she does. And then
Yeah.
also you mentioned that technology when it works with like a cut. So I had 2 C-sections. So do
Oh,
you
me
work with women that
too.
had C-sections?
C-section, carpal tunnel syndrome. I had a physician that I worked on. He had it was an Achilles tendon rupture. And so it was about 40 years old. And when I saw him, I broke the scar down and he started jumping. He said, I've never done this for so many years. I've been trying to run, but I've been having issues. So yes. And it depends on the scar and your keloid, because if it's keloid, it's going to take a longer time to break down. But if it's a regular scar, after 1-2 treatment, you're good. Because once we open up that scar tissue underneath, then the flow is going and you're good. So carpal tunnel syndrome, yes, I can help those patients. Scar in the face, scar on the neck, yes.
That
Anywhere the
is
scar is, yes.
amazing.
Yes.
That is true. So no, and that was one of the things that really was like so impressive when you shared it. And I love that you're tapping into the technologies that are around the world that we can incorporate, bring here,
Yes.
and simplify people's lives. You know, get them off of medications. We want people off of all their medications, right? So the fact that you're helping to do that is amazing.
That is
Okay,
the goal.
so you
That is the
mentioned
goal.
that. Oh, I did want you to share. No one asked, but I'm going to have you share a little bit about the O shot and why people do that.
Okay, so sometimes when we're going through menopause, some people have like the dry mucosa of the vagina. So what we do, we take their own blood and we spin it down and we use the platelet-rich plasma and we reintroduce it into the area of the vagina. And so the patients, they have great results. I have one girlfriend I did it for. Her husband travels and he was away for a couple of months. And when he came back, he said to her, "What's different?" And she said, "Audrey did a procedure for me." And he said, "Tell her I want to shake her hands." So I know it works. I know it works, and intimacy is very important for some people, especially if you're married. And so I get a lot of people that I do different age group because for different reasons, people may have a early hysterectomy, and so they have issues because their hormone have been disrupted, or they just have the dryness, and sometimes they have what's called stress incontinence. They jump and they're at the gym and they have a little leak, or they have to look for a bathroom everywhere. So that we help them with the rugae of the bladder. The bladder has no nerve endings, so they're not going to have pain. So those are some good things that we do.
Oh, wow. I didn't know you also help with incontinence. So that's outside of, do you?
Yes. So if the person is already wearing a diaper, then they need surgery. But if
Right.
they're having like a leak, yes, we can help to fix it. And we also look at their blood type because I know there are people who are blood group O. They're supposed to be taking their a little bit of meat. So their B vitamins stay strong because
Mhm.
they're connective tissue. They're the people who have the strong blood that are universal donors. And so I
Yeah.
have to educate patients. Sometimes I'll see somebody for 35 years, they have not had any kind of protein. And I'm like, animal protein. I'm like, you're going to end up with issues. And I'm not saying that because it's the top of my head. I'm saying that it's because there's research to show your connective tissue gets weaker and you end up with cystocele, rectocele, all kind of issues. So I said, even if you don't want to eat the meat, just drink some broth maybe once every couple months.
Yeah. You know, we have one of our other doctors that is a part of the network. He deals with gene therapy amongst other things, but one of the things he talks about is eating for your body type. And
Yes,
it's
ma'am.
so funny. He's a vegetarian or vegan, but his
Hmm.
wife is a carnivore, and then two of his kids tested to eat like his wife, but then one of them eats like him because that's what's in their genes. So really
Exactly.
take heed to that. There's a lot of trends on how we should eat, and a lot of people sharing you should only be this or you should only be that, but you should really look into maybe investigating what's best for your body and listening to your body, right?
Exactly. And Michelle, there's a book that I use called Eating for Your Blood Type by Dr. Peter J. Adamo, and it really does help. And so I usually suggest to the patient, you can get it on thriftbooks.com if you don't want to spend all that money on the other stores that everybody know. I don't want to call any names, but yes, but it is good because sometimes patients come to me and they're having inflammation. And I said, tell me the four foods that are your go-to foods. And three out of the four is causing inflammation in the body. And I said,
Um,
you know, if you eat it, you must eat it because you have no other food. Flush yourself with some hot water to prevent the lecithin and the clumping, like up to 20 minutes after. But those are not your beneficial foods. You want to move to foods that are more beneficial for you.
yes. Oh, I have an unexpected guest in my backyard that I did not expect. I'm looking like, oh, who is this person? I just heard a voice.
Oh wow.
But it's spring break. Everything is
Okay.
happening. Who knows? Just random. I guess my husband didn't tell me someone was coming because I would not have been out here. Hi there. So, okay. So I really want you to share who, like, who is your target demographic? Like, who are some of your clients? Are you only a female? Do you only see female patients, or do you see male and female patients?
Oh, no, I see male and female, and I see quite a few male with neuropathy of the feet, especially those men who are in construction. They're standing a long time. They're in shoes that are not necessarily comfortable. And so, yes, I'm helping those guys. I have patients from age 17 all the way up to my oldest patient is 94. Yes, I have
What?
90-year-olds that are still driving, and I help them with the joints rather than me giving them cortisone shots. Because, cortisone, you're only supposed to have three in your lifetime because it weakens your bones and it also affects your pancreas. So I usually take their blood, spin it down, and I use that as the alternative, and the patients do very well. And I also do stem cells. I do the Wharton's jelly from the umbilical cord. I have a lab up in Pensacola I work with, which is FDA regulated because we're not supposed to use embryo because those cells are already have been assigned, but the umbilical cord, they're going to dispose of it, and the labs gets the umbilical cord, they preserve it, and then they fly it into me like the morning of the procedure. So it comes in frozen, and then my nurse comes in to help me. So we get really great results. My 90-year-old that I did, he's still driving from Sunrise to Miramar, and I did his hip about a year ago. Not
Yeah.
using his pain. So yes, so some good things.
So,
And it's all, Michelle, it's all about getting the inflammation out of your body. That is why I start everybody off with the omega test because I want to see how much omega 6 they have in their body because that's the culprit if they have too much.
that is so good.
Yeah.
So, guys, if you're just joining this, you're going to want to go back and watch the beginning and hear the prestigious organizations that Audrey used to work for, the amount of experience she has. Like, do you hear the things that she's doing? This is knowledge on top of knowledge. So, what I love about one of the things you shared with me, Audrey, is how you continue learning. Like, you're a
Sure, yes.
continued learner.
Oh, yes. I just last Monday, I was with Dr. Fisher learning about the anti-inflammatory diets up in Palm Beach. Great, great seminar. Got my CEUs. I was very happy. So I'm always going somewhere to learn something new. Because when you stop learning, you're on the other side of the grass.
That is the truth. When you're not learning, you're what do they say? When you're not growing, you're dying, right?
Isn't that the truth? Yes, yes, yes.
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 Okay. So tell me, do you have any like exciting things coming up? Any promotions? Any things that we should know about?
Oh,
I feel
sure.
like we should all be running over to come check you out.
Sure, sure. For people who want to just have a fresh look for spring, I am removing the smile lines. It takes 90 days total because 30 days takes for the third layer of the skin, which is a hypocollagen, for the new cells to form. So I use the infrared light therapy to do that. So we're running a special now for 190. We do the neck and both cheeks. And I will throw the forehead in because they're on this call. And the other thing we're doing is a special for facial rejuvenation. So if you just want to have, it used to be a facelift. I worked with a plastic surgeon many years ago as his assistant. So now we're doing a facial rejuvenation, which we're using the skin pen, and we take your own blood and we use the plasma rich platelets as the moisturizer. So we're not putting any chemicals on you because we're disrupting the 3 layers of your skin. And you come back after 30 days and after 30 days. So we're running a special for $1,500. It's usually $1,800, and you get 3 over 90 days so the patient can plan. And we do credit card, we do all kind of payment plans. So you don't have to be afraid to come in. And also for the scar breakdown, if the patient comes in for a consult, I want them to bring all their vitamins because not all things are made equal. And there's some vitamins that work against each other. And there are
Yes.
things like the DL tocopherol, which is actually a synthetic that's bad for your heart. So I love to look at the bottles and say, okay, you're looking for the D, not the L beside the D, because that is synthetic and that's bad for the heart. So if they bring their vitamins, I will review them. Usually the consult is 150. I'll do it for 125. And if they have a scar, I'll break it down.
So you guys, you have to mention if you're running over to see Audrey. So tell us where you're located because you're here in South Florida. Tell us where you're located.
I am in Davie in the Nob Hill Office Park, and our main crossroads are Hiatus and State Road 84. It's 10650 West, State Road 84, Suite 211, Davie, Florida 33324.
I'm going to put that in the caption, but I love everything you share. Like you really go. So this is what being a holistic practitioner is all about. She's looking at what you're currently taking to make sure there's no adverse effects to the things that now she's going to suggest. These are the kind of practitioners we want to go to where they're not discounting everything we do every day and just giving us a prognosis and a medication. We want someone that's taking a look at what are you doing now? Let me see what things may work best for you and helping us to heal the right way. So I love that. Okay.
And
So,
may I add one thing?
yeah.
So I have a lot of people who do night duty, and I had a gentleman from FedEx who came to me, and he was doing nights, but the sun was hitting his retina. So the thing is, when your retina is reset, your whole circadian rhythm changes. And we're seeing studies of nurses who have done night shift for years. After 3 to 5 years, they have blood dyscrasias. Because when you rest at night, your blood cells regenerate, your red blood cells between 3 to 5 a.m., your gallbladder between 2 to 4. So I do the infrared light therapy where I reset your entire melatonin, your internal, because you can't fix this with an external melatonin. So I do the internal melatonin. I sit them in the infrared sauna. It's a special device like a chair. We sit them in it 115 degrees at 20 minutes. And then 5 days later, I open up their trigeminal and then they get an ionized infrared iPad. The first person I did it on, 34 years old, she slept for 12 hours straight. So I know the stuff works. So I have a lot of night nurses that I work with and night people. And if they can't change their shift, I tell them speak with your boss because you're getting health issues from what I'm picking up on your blood work. And so ask your boss if you can leave before the sun comes up. So you come in a little bit earlier and you leave before the sun hits your retina. Because it's not just what you're taking, but your sleep, your association with healthy minds, healthy people. It's all composed. It's not just one thing. Everything has to come together to make a nice composition.
Well, that hits home for me because my sister, well, all 3 of my siblings are RNs, ironically. I went into a different field, but my sister worked the night shift for at least 15 years, but now she's back in the day shift. But she's been back in the day shift for like the past 4 years. But I just see how it wrecks, people's body and how they function because you're not fully operational. It's like you're off. And I'm sure daylight savings is not helping, right? When the time changes, because we're wrecked. With that 1 hour, I know I'm wrecked for like a few weeks. but this is so good to know that you have something. So Quadera is saying, repost this post right there to Instagram, please. It's vital for people to hear about the melatonin and circadian rhythm. So I'm gonna clip that part and put that. This full video will be on our page, but I'm gonna clip that part too, because what you just said was so good, and people need to know that there's answers to that, because there's a lot of people working night shifts. So
yep. My sister is a nurse, and she ended up with colon cancer after 10 years, and I kept begging her, change, you need to change. Your lab work is changing. You need to change. And but thank God she's okay now, and she's on days.
My sister had a thyroid issue. She had to destroy her thyroid. This was like 20 years ago, because my niece was a baby. So I'm sure between her working the night shift, she had just given birth to a baby. I think all of that contributed to tearing up her.
Yep.
Wow.
Your rhythm is so important to reset that melatonin. So important. Yep.
Audrey, you just shared.
It's a cheap procedure. It's only $100. It's not like people can afford $100 to do that. Yes.
Get out of here.
Yes.
So okay, I'm just going to share real quick. Audrey is going to be one of our featured businesses at our upcoming Holistic Health and Wellness Networking Experience happening at the Tower Club on April 24th from 6:30 to 8:30. You thought this was good? You're going to want to see her in person. She is full of knowledge. Like I said, when I started this, I was excited because I knew she was going to be dropping so many gems. Audrey, you just dropped so many nuggets. So good. I so appreciate you. Let me see. Outside of right on here on Instagram, how can people find you?
They can call me on the business line, which is 754-267-2564, or they can find me on checkyourwellness.com on the Instagram, or they can find me on my webpage, which is ckurwellness.com. So yes, they can find me in a lot of places.
I'm going to put all this in the caption. So guys, when you watch this replay, they see where your number, your website, and that you're located in, and your company name, so they can find you in Davie.
Right. And I just want to add one thing. The person who asked about the nerve damage, to start, they can just go ahead and get some liquid B complex under the tongue. CVS, Walmart, Walgreens have good brands with no garbage, and they take 1 drop a day under the tongue and bite with 12. Unless your 12 is high, don't take it with 12. But that's going to help to restore the myelin sheet that covers the nerves, and the B12 helps to prevent the DNA strand from breaking. So those who have nerve issues and want to go ahead start, they can go ahead and start with a liquor alpha lipoic acid until they see me. But those are good vitamins to use, because sometimes it's just a little bit of depletion of those vitamins, because 50% of the patients who have neuropathy do not have diabetes, and we don't understand why they have it. So the B vitamin.
Audrey, I feel so blessed having this conversation. Seriously, you just shared so many things, from pain relief, from women getting their engines going again, between their circadian rhythm. I didn't even know we were going to get into that. Like, so many gems were dropped on this live. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for being a part of the network. Oh, Myrna, she's still on here. She said, thank you for sharing that.
Okay,
that was like a consultation right there, right? Right on our live.
Yes.
Audrey just gave us a consultation. Thank you for everyone that joined. I see so many amazing people jumping on here. Fertilidad con Laura. So that's fertility with Laura. Myrna's on here. Myrna's also a member. We've got Q. But thank you everyone who joined us. Peaceful Body Spa. Anyone who wants to learn more about the Holistic Business Network and the things that we do to help you empower you and be seen. Oh, Myrna says she feels blessed too.
Aww.
We appreciate it. She said, thank you for sharing that information. You can go to the holisticbusinessnetwork.com, and I am going to leave, once we end this live, Audrey's information, because I know there's a number of you that want to get in contact with her. So thank you so much, Audrey. Enjoy your Monday. Thank you, and see you soon.
Okay, thanks. Okay,
all
bye-bye.
right.
Bye. Bye.